Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to everybody's favorite time of day, my favorite time of day, Coach Robert's favorite time of day. It's group coaching time. You may have noticed that we did not put the group coaching question form in the chat today. That's because we got a little something different planned for you today. Normally, I'm behind the scenes feeding Robert questions, but we're going to shift away from that. And in the spirit of trader education, we're going to do a little walkthrough on some features from TopstepX. So, again, our tip of the week this week is to educate yourself. Understand the financial markets you're trading in, learn about different trading strategies and styles, stay informed about economic indicators and events that impact the markets. That's clear enough, I think, right? So, what we're going to do is we're going to let Coach Robert rip through a bunch of different uh, all different charting tools available to you on TopstepX. We're going to go through the bar charts, the candles, line charts, maybe point and figures. When's the last time you looked at a point and figure chart? It's been a long time for me, but I know a lot of people do still look at them, so we're going to walk through them. Coach Robert, didn't mean to talk for so long. How are things going on your end this morning, or this afternoon, I should say?
Yeah, it's going good. We had a nice day today. It took a little time to put this together, and thanks for everybody in production for making a last-minute change. Kind of had this thought to go along with that, educating yourself and uh, focusing on TopstepX. And there's a lot of features that just keep getting added. These are part of actually the trading view charting component inside. And what I'd like to do is just show the difference of the different types of mainly the candle types and a couple things we can do with it by adding different instruments to the chart, different candles at the same time. And I'm going to go through these. I'm not going to go like a teaching, but more of a demonstration, because this can be clipped out later on and you can go back and rewind and watch it. So I'm going to move, I want to say fast, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on any one thing. So bear with me when it comes to that. The reason is, if you all know me, I don't really focus a lot on time charts, but we are going to go through a couple of those and a couple preferences of them. But then also, like JD had mentioned, we have different types of charts. I'll be going through the point and figure, line break charts, Renko charts, Heikin-Ashi charts, and just showing you some of the different options and some of the different settings that are available to them. So let's get started. I'm going to run right through this. This is a 5-minute ES chart. As you can see, we're on the ESZ contract, the December contract, so be sure you changed that. If you're in a different platform, TopstepX will roll over automatically. So pretty simple, green and red candles. The green, the open is lower than the close, and on the red, the open is higher. So the candle opens, closes down. We all know this. It's a pretty standard chart. Now let's take a little bit different look at this, and let's just make it a Heikin-Ashi chart. Now, Heikin-Ashi, and I do have these color different so they can look a little different to to identify them, to separate them a little bit. It's the same chart, but what are we noticing? Let's circle an area. These are all red candles that I just circled right here. Now let's go back to the regular chart. We have green and red candles, right? There's greens in here also. But what the Heikin-Ashi chart does is it smoothens out the potential trending areas. So if we had a Heikin-Ashi chart, it's just a basic mathematical formula. It's not real complicated. You can Google it. What it does is when it plots these candles, the open price of a candle is not a true price. All it does is plot the open price halfway between the open and close of the previous candle. Once the candle closes, now this is a time-based chart, so every 5 minutes it's going to stamp a candle. On a downward candle, the low price is a true price. The open price or the high price is not a true price. It is a fake price. It's going to plot it right in the middle, as I said. So what this potentially may do for you is keep you in those trends a little bit longer. We see on this particular area right in here, we're talking 57.18 and 57.23, the Heikin-Ashi is starting to square up a little bit. We have a couple dojis in there, but they're still red. We don't have anything breaking to the top side. So we may want to hold that trade. Let's highlight just that area. What does that look like if we have a standard candle? Well, we might get faked out. We see we have a red candle with a long wick, and we have green candle. Now we have a green candle that's closing up above, and the wicks are still there. We have a higher low. So we may say, ooh, I want to get out of that trade. Maybe we were looking at a trend line like this, and we saw that it broke down, it starts consolidating, and we say, we want to get out of this trade. But by having a different appearance of a candle, we can see that saying, nope, we may want to stay in that trade. Now here's something that we can do that's pretty interesting, is we can add two ES charts to this one chart. Now I'll show you. On the top left, we have a plus sign. We can add a symbol. I'm going to click on ES. Now what it just did was just added another ES chart on top of this one. Now this one happens to be, if I go to the settings, listed as a line chart. We don't want that. We want this to be a candle chart, just like we're used to seeing. And there it is. We can see they're overlapped to each other. That's kind of hard to read. So let's move this to the bottom of the screen. We can go to our settings here. We can say, hey, let's move this to a new pane below. Well, there we have it. Below, we have a standard 5-minute chart with regular candles. And above, we have a Heikin-Ashi chart with the same candles. So we can see them back and forth. Okay, isn't that pretty cool? That's really, I think that's really something. I think it's really good. And we can just close out if we don't want this. Now, let's go back to a regular candle. And since we are on the comparison, what if we wanted to watch the ES along with the NQ? Well, let's add the NQ to this chart. Let's just keep it standard candles for a moment. Click our plus sign again. We click on the NQ. Notice it by default, it says a line chart. We go to our settings, and we're going to make this a candles chart. And there we have it. There's our NQ and there's our ES. But again, it still looks kind of weird, so we need to make some adjustments. Since they're on the same chart up top, it's going to calculate the scale based on the percentage of movement. We can see yellow down in bottom right is the ES price, and NQ is the NQ price, obviously. So let's go up to our settings here again, and let's move our pin. We're going to pin it to the scale to the left. Now we have our NQ on the left-hand side, but it's still in percentages. So let's go and change our scale to a log scale. And there we have prices. So now we have our, on the right-hand side, we can see those are ES prices. See the candles moving? And let's move these a little bit closer and down the bottom. And on the left side, we have our NQ prices. Now we can just click on them. We can drag them out of the way. So here on the same chart, we are looking at the NQ pricing at the top. We're looking at the ES pricing at the bottom and the price action movement. That may be beneficial to us. How you use that is entirely up to you. Okay, what if we want it on a different chart? What if we want it on a line chart so it didn't take up much room? Well, here we have, we're selecting our candles here, and we want to have it on a, it was a line chart. There we go, line chart. So this is all we want to see. And the line chart in this particular instance is calculated on the close of the price. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We want to get rid of it, we can just close it up the top, and we are right back to our ES chart. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but it can kind of give you an idea where things are going. So now let's mix this up a little bit more. Let's go to some strange charts. A common strange chart would be Renko. Here's a Renko chart. Now, how does this work? Well, I'm going to right click on my chart, go to settings, and on our symbol, we can choose the colors. These are the up bars and down bars, this blue. But I wanted to change it, I see projection. As the bar is being built, it's going to be green and for up, and as it's being built going down, it's going to be orange. Now, it's on a 5-minute timer, so it's going to keep adding and removing as price moves up and down. And at the end of this 5-minute timer, it's just going to close those. In this case, if it stopped right now, these would be red because they're now a closed down bar. And it would just continue to plot whether it's still going down or still going up. So we can see this. There are two settings. We can use an ATR, which I really don't care for because it's an average true range, and we can use it. This is going to calculate and look at candles 14 periods back. Or we can use traditional. Box size is the number of points that it's going to move when it plots. So each one of these bricks here, they call them bricks, is 2 points in height. So 2 points down, 2 points down, 2 points down, and it's going to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We can see it's still going down. We can see that it's still dropping. Now they're a little bit confusing in real time because this may drop down 3, 4, 5 orange as it's going down, but then the candle, the price action may come back up. It's going to erase these, and it may go up 2, 3 green and then stop there because our timer ran out. But what does it do? It gives us a pretty accurate, a pretty easy way to look at support resistance levels. We can easily see like, all right, well, this is the high of day. Yes, it could have gone up a little further and back down again, but it's going to plot every 2 points. The other thing we need to take into consideration with Renko candles, Renko bricks, they call them boxes here, but Renko bricks, is that in order for it to change color and change direction, it has to go twice the distance. So here's a green that we're showing right here at the end. In order for this red to plot, it has to come back down 2 points and then go an additional 2 points. So we call that the flip. This is a certain way to do it. Some platforms look a little different. You can have wicks on them, and some of them will have an overlap. So you can say, oh, I want it to overlap, not be stacked on top of each other. So it's just something that you may want to put on your chart, put it on the bottom, just like we had regular candles up top, put a different type of chart on the bottom. It may help with the trading to hold on to something a little bit longer. Now let's go, well, let's highlight one area. Let's look at this section that we just have. I'll circle it, and I'll go back to the standard chart. And this is what we are looking at here. It's a little bit messy. On the Renko, yes, I know it's historical, but yes, I also see that we have a potential, click on this here, support resistance area on this line, go back to my regular candles, back to my Renko, and we can clearly see as that is a really simple way to identify a potential support resistance area. Hopefully that makes sense. I know, again, like I said, I'm going a little bit quick, but we want to make sure that we cover everything here. Yeah, let me go back and erase these. All right, now we're at our regular candles again. Let's go to something even a little more crazy, a little more fun. Let's go to something called a line break. Now, a line break is pretty interesting. This is the rollover candle, so I'm going to get this out of the way so we can look at today, just like this. We'll shrink it down. Now, what is a line break? Let's look at the settings. We have it set, or I have it set right now, as a number 3. What does that mean? It means it's going to look at 3 periods back, 3 candles back, in this case, a 5-minute chart. Once price breaks, if it's going down, let's highlight an area, this red candle over here. Once it breaks the low of 3 candles back, it's going to plot red. It's going to change color. It will continue red until a green movement or upward movement breaks the high of 3 candles back. We can see in this area here. Now let me highlight a few of them. 1 second.
Powering on. Welcome to All-Tech Lansing.
Sorry about that. My headset just died on me, and here we go. You can still hear me, JD?
Yep, you are all good, Robert. Keep cooking.
Excellent. Just switched the headset out. It was charged. Don't know why it died, but we'll figure that out. So here, we're looking at red candles going down, and we have the reason for this one green candle is because it finally broke the high of the 3rd candle back. Now, how can we use this? Well, it's another way to, I think, easily identify support and resistance areas. We know that this was a level because red dropped down, it broke below the 3rd candle back based on those settings, and we can continue on. Now, it may happen quickly, it may happen smoothly, and these are another candle that will continue to go down, 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 or up, up, up. It'll continue to plot until it actually breaks that 3rd candle. So we may see a green come up, another one, and then once it breaks this 3rd candle, it will plot green, and we'll have a green section down the bottom. They're pretty cool to use, and again, this is on a 5-minute chart, but let's change it to a 15-minute chart. So there we have it. It's pretty smooth. We can see it's starting to build up now. I have my projection bars set to green, so I can see a green was beginning to build, and down would be orange. But what if we go faster? Let's put it on a 5-minute chart. A 1-minute chart. Here we have it. Now, what do we want to do here? Do we want to go long? Do we want to wait? We know we have a pretty good support level right down here. We know we have a pretty good resistance level right here. So we can, I think, potentially use this to our advantage. And again, these are just ideas. I'm just giving some demonstration and a little tutorial on what the other options are that are able to be utilized within the TopstepX platform. JD, I'm going to do one more, and then we can take a question or two, and I'm just kind of blowing through this situation here real quick. Let's go back down to a 5-minute chart to make sure we go back and start off with the same baseline as every other candle pattern or candle style. Point and figure. This is a pretty cool one too. This is very, very old style. These were back in the day when everything was written down on a piece of paper. And it was an X and an O, and they always made these 45-degree angles. Now the thing with the point and figure, so we can do the same thing. We can say, hey, the box size is 1. Let's make it 2. So every box is worth 2 points. And we want to reverse once it goes 2 points. So that is similar to the Renko. We can see that it's built right now. We can easily identify, in my opinion, a support level, resistance levels, potential resistance level. I think it's pretty cool to see that. Now, what this represents I was talking to Hogue about this earlier, where he sent me some pictures of screenshots of the TPO charts that he likes to see on the market profile. It's very close. But to better reference that, we need to make this a 30-minute chart because that's what TPO charts are. They're 30-minute charts. So let's go and remove our support resistance levels. Let's go back down to our settings and make them change on a box size of 1 and a reversal of 1. It's going to give you a more accurate look. Again, I'm going to stretch this out so we don't see the contract rollover. And this is what it looks like here. Now, if we pull up a TPO chart, it's pretty close to this. And this is the whole overnight and everything. So the TPO actually started in the bottom over here because we're looking at a 30-minute chart. Again, these are just things that you can use. They're just ideas. And hopefully they'll be able to help you. Imagine sticking something like this with your regular candle chart. Imagine putting something like the Heikin-Ashi along with the Renko. Hey, am I going to hold on to this trend a little bit longer on my same time frame? Because those Renkos are stacking up. I haven't seen a reversal, and the Heikin-Ashi is telling me to stay in a certain direction because the closes are still the same and they haven't changed color on the direction. So it may help you hold on to the trades longer. Will it? I don't know, and you can use it to your advantage. One last thing you have to be careful of, you should be careful, but you need to take into consideration. Let's go back to the line break. Let's go back to 5 minutes. Now this is ES. You want to take into consideration the settings on these when you use them with different instruments. For example, let's put the Ultra Bonds on. What does that look like? That's not too bad. What if I put oil on? That's not too bad either. What if I put the RBOB on? That's still pretty good too. But we may want to change them. There was one that I put on, I think it was it silver or potential, where it didn't look quite right. We do the same thing for the point figure. Does it look right? Well, there's silver, 5 minute. Yeah, see, this is looking kind of messy. That's not exactly what we want to see for silver. How does it look on oil? So we need to make adjustments. That doesn't look too good on oil either. So we may need to make an adjustment and switch this over to our ATR. Aha, that is looking a little bit better. It gives me a better view of what I would need to use for oil should you be trading oil. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. It's just a quick tutorial. I really wanted to go through that. This is all in, all in the spirit of educating yourself. And it takes some time on the weekends to go through these and just find out what is going on with these charts. I see a lot of times, a lot of questions come in. It's like, how do I add a new window to my chart? Well, if you played around with it, you'd notice that you can just one click and you can pick however many you want to see. I don't know how to link my charts. Well, right in the center of the screen, it says add a chart link. Okay, and we have TopstepX in 5 minutes or less tutorial that were put together. I do have a few more to make. I'm just in a different office. It's a little echoey. We want to make them sounding better, which I will be doing here in about the next week or so to catch up with everything like the hotkeys and like these chart things and adding new contracts, new instruments or duplicate instruments. So there's CL if we wanted to add this oil and gas, right? So if we want to put natural gas on along with oil, there it is. Maybe we have some confluence in there. Maybe we can see something different. Put that back here. Change the oil to the other, natural gas to the other panel. Pin to scale to the left. And there we have it. Now we can adjust each one according to what we would like to see. So now we have a combination of, hey, what is oil doing against gas? That might want to tell us something. The ES against the gold, okay? Gold against silver, ES against NQ. Whatever you want to do, just wanted to put this out there, share it with everybody, and I don't know, ask some questions if you have it. And JD, what do you think? Any comments here? We got probably a minute or two to clear anything up.
Not so many questions. A lot of great comments, though. There was one particular question. I just lost it, but someone was curious what it would look like if you put a Renko chart on top of a Heikin-Ashi chart with a couple different markets, but we don't have to really run into that too much right now. But I guess the base point is that all these charts that you have access to on TopstepX, they're highly customizable. So we highly recommend going in there and playing around with them and trying to figure out what really works best for you. Again, we say this all the time, but what works good for me might not translate so well to you. So go in there and test a few things out, play around with it. It's there for you to use. So thanks again, Coach Robert. That was awesome. We are going to clip that segment as a one-off video. I mentioned that in the chat. we'll put that on a YouTube video or our YouTube channel as a standalone video, so you guys can go back and reference it whenever you want. That was some great information, Robert. Thank you so much for taking the reins on that and volunteering to do that. That was absolutely perfect. With that,
Absolutely.
With that, we're going to take a short break. Stick around. We've got Trading Mindset with Sean Sawyer. Sean Sawyer is back. He was here a couple months ago. He's going to be talking with Hoag and myself. You got another hour of me coming at you. So, again, short break. We'll be right back with Trading Mindset with Sean Sawyer. See you in a minute.